This day in American history. Today we're rolling back the calendar 252 years to June 2nd, 1774, when the Quartering Act was passed. When the Boston Tea Party happened, Great Britain was furious and needed to hold the American colonists responsible.
This party's over.
So they passed the Coercive Acts, which closed the Boston Harbor until all the money lost from the Tea Party was paid back to East India Company.
It's my money and I need it now! Shut the fuck up!
They also made royal officials to be tried in Great Britain, or a separate colony from where they committed their crimes. They made local officials become appointed by the British rather than elected by Americans. Lastly was the Quartering Act. The Quartering Act, which later led to the Third Amendment of the U.S. Constitution 17 years later, ruled that if British barracks were not to standard, then British soldiers could reside in private homes, warehouses, and barns within 24 hours' notice.
Get out of my house!
This convinced colonists on two things. One, that Parliament would use military force to maintain control of America, and two, that peace had to be made one way or another with Great Britain, which months later caused the First Continental Congress, which included Sam Adams, George Washington, and 54 others representing all colonies besides Georgia, a major step leading into America's upcoming 250th anniversary. On this day in American history, we go back to the only World War II battle fought in the air above American soil. On June 3, 1942, Japan launches Operation AL. Similar to Pearl Harbor, Japan's mission is to bomb a U.S. Navy base.
Another one.
While their mission for Pearl Harbor was to decapitate the U.S. Navy, their mission for this is more tactical for the war. Step 1, fly over Dutch Harbor, Alaska. Step 2, target Dutch Harbor Naval Operating Base. Step 3, target Fort Mears. Step 4, do it again the next day. On the first day alone, 42 members of the U.S. military and 1 civilian was killed, 50 were wounded, and 14 American aircraft were destroyed. Operation AL was executed to extend Japan's northern perimeter and to draw the U.S. away from Midway. And it worked.
Great success.
Because of this, Japan was able to take Attu and Kiska, which they occupied both for nearly a year afterwards. Seeing the iconic Japanese sun on these islands more than likely motivated a certain group of scientists.
Here comes the sun.
Today, the port of Dutch Harbor is the #1 U.S. commercial fishing port, with a steady population of about 4,500 people. Concrete bunkers and other World War II ruins are still visible on Amoknak Island, the only time we fought in the air above our land during World War II. And it shall not be forgotten. Today in American history, a popular debate nowadays is what should the minimum wage be? Well, this debate would not have existed before June 4th, 1912. In the state of Massachusetts, a state commission report showed that wages were less than the cost of living, and even called it parasitic. Because of this, Massachusetts lawmakers made the first minimum wage act for women in the country.
Say that again?
This law only covered women and children, while men were left out entirely. It also didn't set a numerical value for minimum wage. Instead, it created wage boards. However, the boards were only recommendations, and penalties for violators were very light. So most businesses ignored it.
Stop wasting my time.
This did, however, set the groundwork for the Fair Labor Standards Act of 1938, signed by FDR, where a federal minimum wage was made at 25 cents an hour. This is a modern-day $5.75.
There's not enough money.
Today, federal minimum wage is $7.25, while in the state of Massachusetts, it is now $15 an hour. In states like Washington, Connecticut, and California, minimum wage is above $16 an hour. Minimum wage was made for those who need financial protection to survive. Do you think June 4th, 1912 was a good idea? Think freely in the comments. Today in American history. Today is the anniversary of the assassination of Robert F. Kennedy. Not the RFK we see today, but his father. On June 5, 1968, Robert F. Kennedy was running for the Democratic nomination for President of the United States and just won the Democratic California primary. To celebrate, he went to the Ambassador Hotel in L.A. Shortly after midnight, on his way to a press conference, a man by the name of Sirhan Sirhan pushed through a crowd of people and shot Kennedy 3 times with a .22 revolver. Sirhan was then rushed by multiple people and tackled by Rosie Greer while a hotel busboy was cradling Kennedy's head. RFK asks, "Is everybody okay?" before losing consciousness. He was then rushed to Good Samaritan Hospital and died 26 hours later from the gunshot wound behind his right ear. Sirhan's motive behind the assassination was that he was enraged by Kennedy's vocal support for Israel during the 1967 Six-Day War. This war was seen as a humiliation of Arabs by many. In 1969, Sirhan was sentenced to death. However, in 1972, capital punishment became outlawed in the state of California. Sirhan is still alive in prison today and has been denied parole twice, not by parole boards, but governors due to a safety risk. Most recently in 2024.
You lose! Good day, sir! sir.
Today, RFK's son, RFK Jr., is the U.S. Secretary of Health and Human Services, and America is still supporting Israel with the war in Iran. Clearly, Sirhan's terroristic message did not come across even 58 years later.
Today in American history, June 6, 1944, the beaches of Normandy in Nazi-occupied France, D-Day, Operation Neptune, is about to begin. Over 18,000 Allied forces begin parachuting behind enemy lines. These strategically scattered drops confused the Nazis on where the Allies were coming from.
We're completely surrounded!
We're completely fucked.
Allies occupied the Pegasus and Horsa bridges. These bridges were occupied within minutes due to the element of surprise. This was essential to Operation Neptune, so Germany's tank divisions could not reach the beaches of Normandy. Allies occupy the Merville Battery. This fight was supposed to happen at 1 a.m. as part of one giant occupation directly after paratroopers landed. However, soldiers were scattered so badly that even hours after the drop, only 150 out of an originally planned 750 soldiers attacked the battery. The battery needed to be occupied before 5 a.m., and the Allies pulled it off.
Bravo 6. Going dark.
U.S. ships make landfall on the beaches of Normandy at codenames Utah and Omaha. Canadian and British ships reach codenames Juno and Sword. 12 a.m., June 7th. After a long-fought battle that is often shown in movies such as Saving Private Ryan, the beaches of Normandy are newly occupied by Allied forces. D-Day was the beginning of the Allies finally fighting Germany inside German-occupied Europe. Germany now was not controlling, but fighting World War II from the East and the Western fronts.
Vodka for everybody!
D-Day showed that winning World War II against Germany was possible, and that Europe can be liberated. 2,501 American lives were lost that day. The ultimate sacrifice was the cost of freedom. Like if you learned something today, and subscribe for more daily updates on U.S. history.